Hello everyone, and peace of Christ to you all. Welcome to this series of short videos on the critique of the chosen. This is done by a guy whose channel is called I Think Biblically. His name is Caleb. He's from Australia, and he doesn't like the chosen. He clearly doesn't think that Christians or anyone should be watching it. He's really upset that involved in the project are people of Christian denominations he doesn't see as Christian, and some of them I agree with. I agree that Mormons are not Christians. Okay, they are Mormons. They believe in a different Jesus, a different God. They believe God was once a man who attained godhood, and every Mormon male is trying to attain godhood, and every Mormon female is trying to attain goddesshood in order for them to create their own worlds. That's the teachings of their false fake prophet Joseph Smith. But he's of the opinion that because people of certain Christian denominations and even non-Christian churches are involved in this project, it's a reason to be against it. But there's other things I want to unpack from this video. Now, when I critique someone, I actually like to say some positive things about them, because that is a fair critique. Everything in Keller's video here is completely negative. It's on here, and even though it's got lots of scenes from The Chosen, I hope that maybe if you've watched this all the way through, you'll go back to find out for yourself. Don't be like Jehovah's Witnesses, who Keller mentions but aren't implied as would be watching The Chosen anyway, because clearly Jesus is portrayed as God in the flesh in the series of The Chosen. But even Jehovah's Witnesses say, don't go watching these things, keep away from them. But that's what Caleb is also advising people not to watch it, even though he says go and watch it, etc. But he's so negative about it. Anyone who is easily influenced is going to think themselves, oh, I don't want to be involved in that. I'm just not going to watch it at all. In fact, I'm going to tell everyone not to watch it. Like Eve, when she was tempted by the serpent in the Garden of Eden, she said that, oh, God doesn't want us to eat it. In fact, we mustn't even touch it. Obviously, Adam must have said something very negative to her for her to have added to the word of God in that way. Anyway, the first thing that caught my attention was this scene, as you see in front of me now, the thumbnail for the video. It said the Masonic Jesus, the Masonic Jesus of The Chosen exposed. Now, linking Jesus and Freemasonry together is a critique I haven't seen before, so I was quite interested in this. And basically, what he does at the very start of this video is to allude to another video where another person makes a personal attack on Jonathan Rumi's character and Jonathan Rumi's faith, saying he's a Roman Catholic, and then implying that a certain order that Rumi has been a part of is actually a Masonic order. Here we're going to see Caleb make that link here.
Articles about the background of the cast and crew of The Chosen. He exposes in this documentary of his not only the heavy Roman Catholic and LDS involvement, but also the Freemason and Luciferian involvement in the show.
5 years ago, I was knighted by the order, the Sovereign Military Order of the Temple of Jerusalem. I lost my mind there for a second. Essentially the Knights Templar, which is what that is. And they asked me to join their ranks a few years ago.
He's a stonemason, like you, a craftsman.
I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but this video he puts together is very, very good. I highly recommend it. I'll put a link to it in the description.
Yeah, go to the description. Sort out these things for yourself. Research thoroughly. This is something I was taught at university. Never take anyone's word for granted. Research what they say and make your own opinion based on informed thinking, informed choice. That's Jehovah's Witnesses don't want the people having, and I think it goes some way to what certain people who profess to be Christians want as well. They will put so many dispersions on something or whatever that they'll say these people are horrible, they're deceptive, they're deceivers, and people are afraid to find out the truth for themselves. So here we have the start of Caleb's video. So the first thing he does is not even, he introduced it, he says he watched The Chosen, he took notes, and then he goes to someone else's video to talk about Freemasonry and to basically give an ad hominem attack, something about the character of the actors involved. Okay, what would have been really helpful would be something in this to actually show that this order which Jonathan Rumi had joined was actually connected to the Freemasons. The Freemasons, I believe, from my knowledge of Masonry, they took the images and the names, etc., of the Knights Templar for their own usage. The Knights Templar were the original bodyguards who would go out into the Middle East, into the Holy Land, to enable pilgrims who wanted to visit Jerusalem and Bethlehem and Nazareth, etc., in the Middle Ages, to travel there safely. They gave up their time, they gave up their estates, so that as part of what they saw their religious duty, to protect Christian pilgrims from visiting these places, especially after the rise of Islam, and Islam began dominating the region. That is something the Knights Templar got involved in. Obviously, there's history with this time. The Knights Templars became powerful. They fell out with certain leaders of Europe and people within the church, as the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church become more political organisations, and they fell out and were not very popular in the end. However, that's not the root of the Knights Templar. So a fairer critique, if they're going to say that the lead actor, apart from being a Roman Catholic, who clearly I don't think Caleb likes here, is playing the role of Jesus, it would have been more fruitful and more informative to actually shown which Masonic orders this organization that Rumi was knighted in is actually linked to the Freemasons. That would have been a much more effective piece of information to give for us to research. And secondly, then, to use a clip from The Chosen where they talk about stonemasons. What kind of argumentation is this? It's not certainly not academic. It's certainly not biblical and theological. If you go to any theological seminary, and that is the level of your critical analysis of something, to take a bit out of a movie, a line of a script, and they say, oh, he mentions the word Masons here, they must be supportive of the Freemasons. Okay, to make that kind of link involved in here, it's really very poor. But the biggest joke is the very last line after this excerpt from this video, where Caleb says, "I'm not into conspiracy theories, but here's a conspiracy theory for you." Okay, that's the level of the argumentation. Then I think you seriously have to raise your game. Raise your game big time, Caleb. I'm very disappointed, and we haven't got through 1 minute 30 seconds of your video yet.